I'm doing experiment 21 from the Elementary Science with Vernier. It's the e-motion lab. And in this lab, the students use the motion detector to make their measurements. And this is the go motion. We have other types of motion detectors, but this one plugs directly into the computer via the USB cable, so we can just plug it in. And the way this thing works is that it uses an ultrasound pulse. And so it sends out a pulse of sound, and it bounces off an object, and it comes back, and it just measures how far away the object is from the detector. And so as you move back and forth, then the computer draws the real-time graph of what's happening with the object moving back and forth. Now, I'm going to open up the detector here, and on the inside there is a switch. And this switch allows us to tune the device depending on what we are trying to do. If we're looking at larger objects, like a person walking back and forth, or maybe tossing a large ball or something in the air above the detector, we might set it there. Or if we're looking at something a little smaller, maybe a small car or something, we can put it over here on the cart setting. It does a better job of tracking those smaller objects. Now, another thing that you have to be aware of is that you have to set the device so that it knows where the sound is coming from when it bounces back. So I'm going to be doing some things where I'm walking back and forth in front of it, and I'm going to kind of tilt it back just a little bit so that the motion detector is bouncing off my torso, going back to the detector, and it just measures how far away I am from that. And so let me go ahead and get this plugged in. So I'm just going to use the USB cable there and plug it into the computer. And I have my Logger Lite software. It actually comes with the Go Motion, and it's running there. And so it's detected that the motion detector is available. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to open the file that's associated with this lab, and that e-motion. So I'll go down, and here's the Elementary Science, and I want to open up e-motion, experiment 21. And what it gives us is a position time graph with a time of 10 seconds and the position there on the y-axis. And so it gives the students 10 seconds to walk back and forth in front of this. Now, at the very beginning of the lab, it has the students refer back to a previous lab where they have done things where they've walked very slowly in front of the detector, they've walked more quickly in front of the detector, they've stood still at different distances from the detector, and they've walked towards it. So it has them go back and review kind of what they've done before. And then it prompts them to, in this lab, to go and to make some shapes. So specifically, they're to do the letter M and the letter N and a W. And so they're going to be trying to see if they can make those shapes. And they have to refer back to what they've done before to think about, what do I have to do to make this draw that? So the first thing it wants them to do is to draw a prediction, or basically draw the letter there on the screen and then try to match that. So I'm going to use the prediction function. So I go up to the little pencil there, and I'm going to draw this, and so I'll go over. So I'll draw an M. On the screen using the prediction function and the trackpad there. And now we're ready to try to make the M. So I go up to Collect, press Collect. And there we go. There's an M. It's not exactly like we have it on the screen there with the prediction, but it's pretty close there. So the next part of the lab, it has the students, they actually had to write down what they had to do to make the shape when they're doing the M. They have to think about what they actually had to do to do that. And then it wants them to try an N. And so I'm going to go under here, and I will clear all data for this run. And I'm going to draw the N. And so it will come here, go up, and so I'll just make it do an N shape like that. And we'll see what we can, see if we can make that shape. So I hit collect. Not too good there, but I've tried that one out. Now my prediction was rather hard to do because it had some straight up lines, and so one of the things that the students do is they can figure out that in order to make a line that goes straight up, it's impossible, and so if they try to match that, it becomes rather difficult. And then lastly, I have to try to do the W, so I'm going to go in and clear all my data, and I will come in here and draw a prediction. So I will start out at maybe about 2 meters, and then I'll come down, and then back up, down, and up, and finish off there. So let's try, see if we can make the W. I have to start out here, or collect. So I managed to make a W with that one. And that's the very first part of the lab. The next part of the lab has them do some things where they have to make a happy face and a sad face. And they also use that prediction function to go in and draw on the screen. We're going to start off with the happy face. So I'm going to clear all the data there. I'm going to use the prediction and draw kind of a smile. So it's going to go down. So it's designed to look like a smiling mouth. And so there's our smile. We press collect. So to do the happy, I had to start out back here and then go quickly towards and then kind of slow down and then turn around and go back to make the happy face. And then lastly, I need to do the sad face. So I'll clear that data, go to prediction here. I'll start at about 1 meter, and then we'll make a sad face. And we're ready to collect. Okay, that was good. So the idea with this device is that it allows the students to see what they've done after having a kinesthetic experience in front of this. So they're going back and forth and they're actually observing this real time. So they're getting this real-time graph that they can analyze, and if you look at the research about the use of this with students, this really seems to help students understand graphical data.